Hey, hey, hey. Isn't that what Fat Albert said? In his
Hey. What's up?
Hi, guys.
Welcome to the YouTube space.
Is this YouTube?
YouTube changed their logo.
What?
Yeah, okay, hear
Shifted.
me out. Hear me out, YouTube.
Here.
New logo sucks. Here's what it should have been. The little play symbol.
Yeah.
Great, awesome. Just make it YT.
Yeah.
Just do YT. Everybody knows what everybody just shorten it. It's a logo. It looks wordy. It looks too wordy now. Should say YT.
They moved it over from the right
Yeah.
to the left.
It could be like a white Y and then like a red T or something.
I still don't know why we do this on YouTube. YouTube's going to be down in 2 years.
Yeah, they're done.
I mean,
I heard.
New logo for a new me.
I'm going back to Daily
A
Motion.
new logo.
Daily Motion.
Yeah.
Bring back Daily Motion.
You know what? GameVideos.com. Do you remember that one?
Game videos. I remember
It
there was
had stuff on there. Game trailers.
game trailers. That was what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's game. I'll say Daily Motion though that's a funny one. That's a
Game
Game
trailers.
videos had little couple like
Game
stuff on
trailers. Game trailers kind of came and went for me because I remember getting a magazine, official Xbox magazine back in the day, and there was a full page because that was back when you got that magazine and you were like excited.
it. Yeah.
that's the
to
only
get
info
the-
you got.
To get the official Xbox magazine, that was all you had, and like
Yeah.
I remember there was like a full page spread that was like GameTrailers.com, and it was like this changes everything. It was very much like a Destiny kind of like it will never be the same. I remember reading that and thinking, yeah, and then I just flipped through the magazine, and then I remember a year or two ago I saw on NeoGAF Game Trailers shutting down. I said, this changed nothing. I never got on that
Maybe-
site.
Really? Because that
Never
was a big
checked it
part
out.
for me.
Maybe that's the future Destiny 2.
Well,
Maybe
we'll
you're
find out.
reading
But
into it.
so I think I missed out. A lot of people like that site,
Yeah.
but yeah, I missed the boat on that one.
You did. So, welcome. My name is Dweebo. This is the DweeBros podcast. I run this YouTube account. I've made many videos in a freaking while. Just this goofy little
It's
podcast.
been a shift.
Well, I mean, you've been busy. A lot of things happened
been
for
a
you.
ship
A lot of
adrift
stuff
at
has
sea.
happened for me.
It's been
yeah.
a big month for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has been.
You got the SNES Classic.
Yep, that has been the best,
Like,
the biggest
hands
thing,
down,
probably.
like, that took up a whole
Probably the
lot.
highlight of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
We'll
not like you
talk
got
more about
engaged or
that.
anything.
Yeah.
No, it's just all about the SNES
I
Classic.
put engagement here at getting the SNES Classic, which we'll talk here soon.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a problem, the engagement. This is like a win.
It's
Yeah.
definitely in another tier above.
Yeah.
Above, a tier above.
You only once in a lifetime get to get the SNES Classic.
Yeah.
I can get engaged multiple times.
Yeah.
It's more
This
rare.
is gonna be the first time.
Yeah.
How many did they make of the SNES Classic? 10,000? Look, it's more rare to get an SNES Classic than it is
How
to
many
find a
fish
girl.
are in the sea?
You could find
You could
10,000
get
girls to marry
engaged
you.
10,000 times.
And speaking of the other fish in the room,
Oh,
I just called you fish, but
I made no sense.
yeah.
Hey, I'm Jacob Ware, a.k.a. Werewolf.
Oh.
It's always good to have you guys here.
It's now to this point, like we don't explain it
It-
anymore. We
it
just
makes
go, like,
sense.
it makes sense.
But yeah, and then we got this guy.
I'm Travis, and I am bringing the heat today.
Oh,
I've got some very, very, very scandalous ideas.
well, I've got my apron on. I'm ready to cook. What you're bringing?
But
heat.
I'm teasing that
Or-
for later. I'm teasing that for later.
We just know August has been busy.
It's been busy. It's been, and guess what? Game devs have been busy.
Yeah,
because
like,
we got news at the wazoo. Let's
Yeah.
get right into it.
It's like everybody went to sleep after E3 and they just woke up and said,
They woke up
oh,
in
I've got
August.
all this stuff to talk about.
I made promises.
August 1st at 12 a.m. You know what happened? Well, this wasn't the release date, but Uncharted Lost Legacy awoke. That's when it awoke. It got woke, fam.
Uncharted 4.5.
So this was an expansion thing.
Yeah.
Did you get this?
I've played Uncharted 1. I still need to play 2, 3. I keep up with Uncharted because I like Sony. But
you
I
did
know
not get the Lost Legacy.
No, but I know what you're talking about. I'm there
Yeah.
with you. I'm not.
So I got this day one. And what do I think of Lost Legacy? So this was like sold as a separate thing. Now the last like thing they did was The Last of Us. Is I forgot the name of it now.
Oh,
They did like a
Lost
DLC.
and Found. I don't know.
Yeah,
Left
Lost
Behind.
and Left Behind. That's what it was.
Yeah, Lost. Yeah.
Lost and Found. Yeah, I played,
Man, left impressions.
I played
on us.
Uncharted Lost and Found.
That was
It's
memorable.
about Drake's watch, and we had to get it from the jungle. No, this stars Chloe and Nadine. Chloe was from Uncharted 2.
Mm-hmm.
She was followed around.
This is my hard thing. I don't care about those two. So
you don't?
I'm
I do.
curious to learn more.
I cared about Chloe. Nadine was kind of a newer character in Uncharted 4. She was cool.
You people
played
just
didn't
like
you?
Chloe for her butt.
Well,
I feel like that's
no.
Wow.
We're
they joke about it.
So
in the
you're
game.
telling me?
we're women.
I'll let you
respect
finish.
here.
I'm just saying that's what everybody always talks about her butt.
Sex
Well,
sells.
I liked.
Do they bring a
and you
third
know what?
dimension?
It's funny you mentioned that because you're gonna feel so bad. This is a very woman empowering game because you're playing as Chloe and Nadine's like the person that's helping you as well in the game, and
Hey,
it's very women
I
empowering.
didn't objectify that character. Naughty Dog did it. So
Well,
I'm just saying.
I didn't.
They're
make
the
it-
naughty dogs.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, but you're saying they
But
add
I'm
some
saying,
layers.
at
Of
first,
course they did.
like,
They were good
what I
writers.
really love about Naughty Dog, I feel like one of the very few, if not the only to me in my eyes, the ones that have strong writing, like Last of Us, the Uncharted 4 game with like marriage and all the stuff that like they're doing in that, and Uncharted 4. So this one, I was like, what's the angle on this one? Like, what's the writing going to be on this one? At first, it wasn't really apparent.
They're good
like,
at coming up with a
what
core
this was-
theme.
with-
They're really
yeah,
good
what's
at
their
that.
theme in this one? And this one was like a lot of like woman empowerment and stuff, and like it was kind of cool. It was interesting and stuff. I liked it because I am a woman respecter.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, hit me up, ladies. I just got engaged. So,
Anyways.
it's more of Uncharted 4, like that kind of style. Like I already played that. Interesting. I did not know this going into it, and it really threw me for a loop. This is like open world-esque. I had no clue. I went into this game totally blind and went,
Really?
Oh
It's
my
not
gosh!
level based?
So they at like this the later half have more like straightforward things, but it's only a little bit. But like a big meat of the game is like you're in this like area. It's very like in Uncharted 4. There's a part when you're in the Jeep.
That's what I was going to say.
That.
Is it like
it's
that?
It's just like that, and they say, hey. Look over there. There's this waterfall, and we just did this little temple thing, and that affected this thing over there. Oh, wait. There's one over there and over here and whatever. So the game is like you get to choose which ones you go, and it's almost like a choose your own like Breath of the Wild-esque of like you get to choose.
Oh no!
Oh no! Close your ears because you didn't really like that one.
Really?
Yes, and it was really cool.
Huh.
I got to drive around, and then like there was
How long did that go for?
the game.
No, that chunk. Was that like a lot of the game?
That was a big meat of it, yeah. It went on for a good chunk like that, and I also you could choose to like have this. There was like a side quest thing like find these medallions. So I did that. It got you like this little extra like thing in the game, and I did it because I just really like playing the Uncharted games, and that was cool. That was a side thing. You didn't have to do that, and it was fun. Graphics are. My dad came in and sat down and like watched me play, and he was just like, "This is." Unbelievable. Like, he was like, what am I looking at here? And that was how I was playing. I was just like, I cannot, like, there's points I just wanted to, like, I stopped playing just to, like, admire the landscape and everything
That's awesome.
that's happening. So, awesome graphically. It just, I loved, like, the story and the characters really, they just nail.
How long was this?
I want to say 10 hours, maybe less than that. And it cost like it's $40. I thought it was worth it to me. I thought that was...
I heard that this game might be the first. I think it's first that has silenced pistols.
Yes.
And you know me, I like to stealth around. And one of my biggest problems with Uncharted 4 and 3 and kind of all the ones that have tried to do the stealth is I'm not really big on the combat. But even in 4, I would do some stealthing around. But like you don't quite have the full tool set that you would like in a Metal Gear Solid, so it would kind of get to the point where you have to fight.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But how did having silenced rounds did that add? Did it subtract from the experience?
After 4, there was just points in that combat where I was just like, give me the next thing. Like
Yeah.
I hate this. And I felt the same. There was a point where I said, you know what? I'm going to sneak.
Yeah.
Because that's where the trouble came. When I tried to sneak, I got caught in the middle of this stuff. And then, like, somebody walked on my face and was like, there he is, and then shot me up. And then the autosave right there, it was terrible.
It might be my fault for playing. I played the Uncharted Collection last year and then UC4 this year. I played all of those on hard mode, and a lot of people play on crushing.
I played on normal and I was having
I wanted to pull my hair out.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine playing on crushing.
So,
but what happened? There was one point when I was like, I'm going to sneak. There's this area. It's like, oh, be quiet. They're up here. So you're in the grass, and I was like, I'm going to take all these people out. I'm going to devote myself to sneak attacking people. One guy's looking around, coming next to me. Boom! I get him. I break his neck. Some person is like down around, and what's cool is you can jump off a thing, and once you jump off towards an enemy, they'll like come from the they'll activate punch from the thing. So I kept doing that. Boom! Punch him. Right up. Someone I heard something. So they'd come up. Boom! I punch him. I heard something. Then I got back up on this top of this thing, and people kept coming. Same little path. Yeah. I broke their neck. Another person kept. I was like, is this infinitely responding? And finally, I just went, I'm getting sick of this.
Yeah.
This isn't fun. Yeah. I just took out the biggest gun I had just started going welling. And I only had 4 left, but I was just like, this was too much. Like,
yeah, they cram so many enemies, and they're all bullet sponges.
Yes.
And they cram them into these tight spaces. And
I finally got sick of the combat.
I'm sorry, the shooting in these games is spongy. I've seen people say that it is better than Metal Gear Solid 5 or on par with it. I couldn't disagree more. It feels like I played Just Cause a little bit, and Just Cause feels like a cheap third-person shooter, but it's fun. That's how Uncharted combat feels to me. It just feels like cheap, spongy combat.
This felt a little improved over 4.
Yeah.
But there was still, like you were saying, the sponge part.
But the visual spectacle of it outweighs it a lot of times.
Yes.
Or for me, it doesn't make it amazing, because a lot of people just, I feel like, ignore the combat thing, and they just get so caught up in the story and the visuals that they say it's like amazing. I don't think any of them are amazing as a full thing, but with everything in context, I think all of them are decent to good.
Yeah.
So I would probably feel the same about this one.
And I really felt like the scenarios in this one, like the stuff you were doing, was like, I can measure a game like fun-wise if it gets me like giggling. I'm having so much fun, and this had me doing
That's
it.
good.
Like I was like really doing some really fun stuff.
Cool set pieces.
And puzzles are really, really good in this one. Yeah, so I had really fun with it. Give it a rad. It was a rad game.
Cool.
We'll go next thing.
Night Trap.
Night Trap. It's a game called Night Trap. It was on Sega CD.
Have you played it?
I did not. None of us did. But what will I talk about is the limited edition. They announced a limited edition. It's this old Sega CD game, and it's FMV. So it's like you get to play a movie.
I cannot wait to play
and
this.
And they're so corny, and I love that genre because it's terrible. It is freaking terrible.
Yeah.
It is.
Plumbers don't wear ties.
Yes.
Have we ever talked about that on here?
I think we have.
A game called Wirehead is another one where it's like you get to choose how things go along. What a fun concept! Like it is right for corniness. It's right for so much like hokey things. Yeah. And so I'd heard so much of this game. This game actually led to the ESRB.
Yeah,
like being created
right.
because it's like it was kind of had some risque things in it.
Yeah.
So
we need to put an M on this box.
They this is the first game I got that was limited run.
Yeah.
Which usually do indie games, and they like do a limited run of like 3,000 copies, 2,000 copies of like little indie games that only are digital download. So I never usually do that. There hasn't been a game that stood out, but this had a cool. It's this cool red box with the rendition of the old Sega CD thing. You open it up, there's a cassette tape in there of the original Night Trap theme, and like there's a patch in there, and then you get the full game on PS4.
So they went all out. It wasn't like, hey, build your own box.
It was a cool box. My fiance made a comment, and she saw the box. Says it looks like the Valentine's boxes you get in school when you pass out. It looks just like that. But she said it was cool. So
that's cool.
Cool on that.
If a woman said it's cool,
it must be cool.
It must be
so
cool.
We'll have more impressions of that because we'll be playing that very soon as a group. So Sonic Mania.
Sonic.
Are you big Sonic?
Yeah, I'm actually like. I didn't think like Sega had anything left.
Well, who made it was in collaboration. It was a fan game, like fan game creator or whatever.
The true
so
test,
he's made all these Sonic fan games, and he got to like work with.
The true test is
it's 2D. It's not
Sonic
like Advanced Adventure.
No,
I played Sonic Adventure last year, and that was like an acid trip.
No,
it's nothing like that. It's actually it's almost like a beautiful like what would you say like. It's not a remake. It's not a remaster. It's more
It's
of
weird.
Kind of like a link between worlds for Sonic.
Kind of,
but
it's weird. It's like well, one thing that actually I have kind of a bad thing to say about it, where I'm kind of confused. You start out and it's Green Hill Zone again.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I've played this 3 trillion times.
It's like the same layout.
Yeah, but what happens is there's 2 like levels per act or whatever,
Yeah.
something, or maybe 2 acts in one level. I don't know. But what you do is you do the first part, and that's like the original how it was in one of the Sonic games, and the second part is a reimagining, like continuation of that world.
Oh.
Yeah.
And those are freaking amazing. I
Wow.
kept hearing so much good stuff. I was like, the last Sonic game, I played Generations,
Yeah.
which people were kind of fond over,
I like
but Sonic
Generations.
overall has kind of sucked for a long time. Some people don't even like the original games.
Yeah.
I grew up with those games. You don't even.
No. Let me say, I get where people are coming from with that. I didn't grow up with Sonic a lot. I played it with my neighbors, and I always felt like I sucked at it because they told you need to go fast, but I was never in control. It's kind of like when you play a fighting game and you just mash the buttons. That's how I've always felt about Sonic. So I've tried to play it now that I'm older, and I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I go slow, and it feels like I'm not doing it right.
Yeah.
So it's not that I don't like it, because I like the music, I like the power-ups, I like jumping on the Eggman and stuff. I don't fall in the camp of I think they're awful games, but I do fall in this middle camp of like I don't really get it. I think that I understand why people love it, but it doesn't get me too excited. Yeah. Is this now these continuations?
Now,
are these designed better to where you
Oh,
could jump
no.
in?
yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'm talking about the remix thing.
The remix.
Yeah, but you still have to get the whole theme is so you have to go fast.
But
yeah.
But I'm not saying that.
I'm saying
I
like
understand
these are
that.
better than the original.
But like the original was set up to where like you were supposed to go fast, but they would like throw all of these things, even in the very first level, like Super Mario Brothers wants you to jump over things, but in the first level it's not throwing spinny flame things at you.
Yeah.
Like it slowly ramps up the pressure. Yeah. Sonic wants you to go fast, and in the first level there's like a million different things you can run into. Yeah. So I guess my question is, do they do a better job of pacing the things that get in your way and how you're supposed to do things?
I did a level last night that had me so enraged. I was so mad at this game because when you die, you go back. Like I was dying in the second act of the second level of each act, so I had to go back and do the first one over.
Ooh.
I hate that. That's some of the issues I had with the Souls series.
Yeah, that's what I had with Crash Bandicoot 1.
Yeah, sounds like you need some save states.
I need some save states is what I need, but like I hate
Do you ever
that.
think you would need save states for a game coming out in 2017?
This one is that, but like I kept dying. I eventually beat it, but I was so freaking aggravated because like I would get to the end and die, and I only had 3 lives. You only have those 3 lives, so I'd get down to 1 life, get to this end, and just lose. And it's like that was lame.
Wow.
Or one thing would take you out if you didn't have like there was like you have those rings.
Yeah, if you don't have rings, you're gone.
I had the rings, and I got like there was one part when like this little thing would go back and up and down, and I would get crushed, and it was immediate death. And I went, oh, yeah. Cool. And I'd have to start over the whole 2 acts. But graphics are so fun. There's also when you can get into the bonus stages, it's the old from the Sonic. Get the like when you're on that rotating circle.
Yeah, you get the Chaos Emerald. It's like a racetrack.
Well, no, I'm talking about. I'll talk to that in a second. But like, I'm talking about like the original. I think it was Sonic 3 that added like you were on a 3D like rotating ball.
Oh wow!
And you had to get you had to get like the blue balls or red balls and turn all the balls whatever color. But then what you said, the racetrack thing, it's like a Sega Saturn game. It has Sega Saturn graphics. It turns into, and you're on a racetrack running a Sonic, and you have to like catch the UFO. You have to like and it has the Chaos Emerald on it. Very cool, like such a
What's
cool.
What's this out
thing.
on?
This is out on
Switch.
Steam, Switch, everything.
What'd you get it on?
I got it on Steam.
Oh, my little brother has it on Switch.
What's the price point?
$20. I got it for I think 15 through Newegg. Something. It's interesting. So I grabbed it for that. It was very fun.
I just think Sonic.
I haven't beat it yet. Oh, also the music is it would play the original music like kind of remaster or whatever. It sounds like the original. Then it's that second act, and it turns into like this weird vaporwave like 90s like really cool like nostalgic sounding stuff.
I think it's overall.
I might check that out.
I'm not a big Sonic guy. Well, I haven't been in so long since I was a kid. This is the first one I'm playing this for so long. Definitely recommend this for $20. Absolutely, it's freaking worth it. You'll have fun. It's
cool.
I played it with my brother and watching him play and watching him go through it. I just think it's so funny that it takes for this character because we watched Mario and Sonic go head to head for so long, and then Mario just keeps going up and Sonic just took a plunge down.
Yeah,
and it took them going all the way back. Someone stepping in to bring them all the way back just to put out a good game.
Yeah, a fan had to fix it.
If you guys don't know, Sonic Forces is in the works, and apparently
Sonic what?
Forces.
That's that new 3D one.
Okay.
Where
you get to create your own.
You create your own character.
Sonic fan art.
You know, it looks good, but I feel like we're getting a Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, it's weird. I mean,
they're gonna give Sonic a gun at one point.
But
I wouldn't get your hopes up about that one too.
This one, so I like the game. I think the low points are like putting these levels in that are like we've already played before, and I heard an argument of like, well, some of the people that are playing now like haven't maybe played those. They haven't played the other Sonics. I get that, but it would have been really cool to call this one Sonic 5 and have those new remastered levels or new like remixed weird like they're actually the original levels in there too.
I think by calling it Sonic Mania though, it does appeal out to everyone because it's not like they focus not.
And I think it was a test. I think it was a test to see how well.
I think we'll get more.
I think we'll get more of this.
It's kind of like the Force Awakens of Sonic. It's kind of like a remake, but it's kind of not.
Yeah,
you're right. That is a perfect thing. So we'll move on to the next. We have so much. We'll never.
So game that came out this month, August, that I played and I finished. I did it in 2 sittings. I've actually played with my sister. Was Tacoma. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is by Fulbright. I think they used to be called the Fulbright Company, and they changed their name to Fulbright. And they made Gone Home, which I think might be wrong was their first game. It was at least their first big hit.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys play Gone Home?
Yes,
you did. Okay, you both did. Oh, cool. Did you finish Gone Home?
No, I know what it is.
Okay, cool.
I haven't finished it. I don't ever finish anything.
Well, I'll be trying not to spoil Gone Home too much, but basically, if you haven't played Gone Home, it was an awesome indie walking simulator kind of game. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of split on the walking simulators. There are some that I really like, and there are some that I really dislike. Gone Home, Firewatch I liked. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Ethan Carter was kind of in the middle for me. I didn't like as much.
I don't think I played that.
A big reason why I like the Gone Home Firewatch style more is, one, I connected with the characters more in those, but 2, they were better constructed pacing-wise, and as far as what you were experiencing. Gone Home especially, I think that game's phenomenal. So I had high expectations for this game. So Tacoma is basically you play a character that arrives on like this derelict space station, and it's abandoned, and you have a job. And it basically tells you need to go in here, and there's an AI system, and you need to recover this AI system. You don't know who has hired you at this point. You don't know really anything at all. You just know you're supposed to go and do this. The cool thing about the game is you walk in, and there's nobody else on the space station. But in interacting with this AI, it produces these augmented reality recreations of the crew. Mm-hmm. Okay? So
like Doom.
Yeah, maybe in a sense.
Less blood.
So basically, there's a crew that was on the Tacoma, the space station. So as you're recovering the AI, it is playing back events that you can fast forward and rewind. And there's basically 6 or 7 of these big events, and then there's little smaller ones. But basically, you'll go into a section of the ship, and there will be an event that plays out across multiple rooms. So you'll stand in the middle room, and you'll play the event, and maybe it's 5 minutes long, and you'll see this character comes in, this character leaves, comes and goes back. And then you'll rewind, and you'll go in the other room, and you'll see what that person was talking about before they went in the big room and said this other thing. Yeah. So it's interesting because there's player agency, because you are choosing which rooms, how you start listening to things and whatnot. But it ultimately leads you kind of where the developer wants you to be. And basically, as you explore the ship, you discover what happened to the crew. You discover what this AI is all about and why it's important, why it needs to be recovered. And you learn a lot about the people themselves. Mm-hmm. And that was what I loved about Gone Home, is you got to know the family really well. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of parallels to Gone Home. I liked Tacoma a lot. I put it almost equal to Gone Home. I have it a slight notch below Gone Home, which is odd because I like sci-fi settings. The only reason I put it a slight notch below Gone Home, and I don't think it's a regression on their part because they were doing some new things, they made the game a little more linear. With Gone Home, it was linear in that you could only unlock doors in certain orders and stuff, but you could kind of go down to this section of the house before this other section. You could go downstairs before going upstairs and whatnot. With this game, there's 6 big sections to the ship, and you do them pretty much 2, 2, 2.
Gotcha.
And really it's 2, 2, 1, 1. So, and it's a specific order. So you don't have as much freedom to explore the ship.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the game tells you, go here, and then you figure out that scene. Go here. And it's because they're telling a little bit more of a linear story, whereas Gone Home was more you exploring and just finding notes and stuff. So there's still notes to pick up and learn about the crew, but it's less. Whereas in Gone Home, you were constantly picking up things and picking up different details. So I think that it's a good continuation for them. If you like sci-fi, if you liked Gone Home, if you liked Firewatch, I think it's a better game than Firewatch. They do some really cool things with like sci-fi, like it's really intelligently written science fiction stuff that they talk about with AIs and some of the moral things that go on. The only other thing that not necessarily threw me, but like the last act, there's like a big thing that happens. You're like, oh, okay, that's what's happening here. It kind of came out of left field, like it was somewhat.
You weren't ready.
It was somewhat hinted at, but then it got like escalated really quick, and you were like, I was like, whoa, okay, that's pretty intense. And then like the game ends about 5 minutes later. And it has a solid ending, but it just like, I kind of wish they would have found a way to maybe dull some of that out. The game's only about 2.5 hours long. I wish they would have like maybe extended another 40 minutes and kind of doled out some of those discoveries that were crammed into the last 10 minutes a little bit more. So yeah, to me, I thought it was really, really good. So yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, check out Tacoma, $20. I think it's worth it. If you're not as into that, maybe pick it up on sale or don't pick it up. But whether or not you liked Gone Home, if you felt like Gone Home wasn't a real game like some people did, it's probably not for you.
I think I'm going to wait for Tacoma Remix or Mania.
Tacoma Mania.
I don't know.
Vaporwave mixes and the...
Walking simulators just aren't my style. I played Ethan Carter in VR.
Yeah.
And I got so scared because it got to the point when you're at the cemetery and you have to walk around. And I sat there with that
game.
I was in VR. You don't like. Here's the thing. The first 3 seconds.
That game has a jump scare that made my soul leave my body.
Dude, the first 3 seconds.
I'm not into that.
A log flew past my face, and I'm in VR. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Scream
I'm like, ah! Like, I just like lost it.
Tacoma doesn't do much. Doesn't really do anything scary. It's a much more. Honestly, Tacoma, oddly enough, even though it's out in space and stuff, is actually more grounded than Gone Home.
Yeah.
They don't really try to mess with supernatural stuff. It's much more about a scenario, and you get to know these characters, and you try and figure out what's going to happen with them in this scenario. There's also a really cool thing, which is sometimes during the recreations of the events, because there's 6 crew members, you get to know them all. They'll have like a big thing pop up in front of them, and you can click the thing, and it will basically show like their digital like workspace that they have on. So you can see like what text messages they have pulled up. Yeah. You can see like what article they were reading. You can see, like what, thing they were looking up in their email. And you can see them as they're clicking through their things and what they're working on. Yeah. So it's cool because you'll like see someone's having a conversation about something, and then you'll open up and see what they were looking at before they had that conversation. And it leads to some interesting connections of like, oh, that would make them want to ask this kind of a question.
Yeah.
Or, oh, they're worried about dying. They're asking someone about, their chances of dying in space if, this or that happened. And it's just everyday conversation. But then you look and someone sent them an email and it freaked them out. And there's a lot of cool little character things. Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah.
Tacoma.
Cool game.
Thumbs up.
All right. I think this is your subject.
Yeah, we'll let Jacob take it away here.
Today was, this month, he got engaged. That means crap to what came out this month. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm so happy for you. But Madden 18 did come out this month.
No, that is a bigger deal.
I mean, we did talk about this for a couple months.
Because that doesn't happen every year.
That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen every year.
You can get engaged any year.
It's not every...
I think this is going to be the final Madden. You never know.
I'm worried. Here's my thing. And there's a reason why I'm feeling this way. In the beginning of the month,
you got this on Steam, didn't you?
No. Yeah, right.
It's not on PC.
No.
I thought this one was going to be on PC.
No.
We talked about wanting it to be on PC.
Yeah, I thought this one was going to make it to PC.
No, they haven't had a Madden on PC since I think 05.
Wow, where did I get that from? I thought this was going to be the first one in a while.
Dude,
maybe it's FIFA. Did FIFA?
FIFA's on PC.
That's what I was thinking.
Here's my thing, and I purchased earlier this month because I was so bored. MLB The Show 17. And if you guys know, the show is the best baseball game.
It's the best baseball game, yeah.
One, because it's the only baseball game. But two, when 2K
That makes it the best.
When 2K made their baseball game, it was terrible. So Sony created the best baseball game. They ran 2K out of the market. But I've bought the show 3 years in a row.
Okay.
And I bought it at normal price.
Okay.
And the game hasn't changed since what it was.
The show?
Yeah, since what it was in 2015.
But Madden's changed up.
Here's my thing.
The same thing could be said for Madden for a long
That's
time.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Madden. Here's the positives. I'm positive. Frostbite does it wonders.
I'm with you because I played a little bit of this. I gotta say, the new engine, it's nothing major. Everything looks better. The collision.
It just looks better. The collisions. That's a huge thing. People aren't just flopping around the ground. The blocking
Animations are better.
It looks more realistic.
Games run a much more smooth frame rate.
Yeah, frame rate. Oh
on
my
both
gosh.
consoles.
Motion blur. You're not getting a lot of motion blur.
Yeah.
The overall presentation, thumbs up. Gameplay wise, not a lot has changed.
Yeah, same thing.
Same.
The only thing I can really say is
pretty much the same.
They put a lot more emphasis on precision passing, letting you put the ball wherever you want to put it using the.
I don't like the way they do that.
But it's super hard because imagine you're playing the game, and those of you who do play Madden, you get a singular view of the field, offense driving to the end zone. So if you're throwing a seam route, which is a guy running straight up the middle, between two safeties, you want to normally throw it between the two safeties over the linebacker. So that way it gets to the tight end. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I'm on board.
He loves the Pittsburgh Dolphins.
Yeah.
So
Definitely do.
when you throw it, you have an option to do a precision pass where it drops this little icon. I mean, I'm saying like the size of a nickel icon down the field where you get to put where the ball is. It's so hard to see.
It doesn't work.
It's absolutely...
Get close to the TV.
Dude.
So it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like when they added the QB vision in 06 where they put the highlight in the field and like Brett Favre's was the size of the whole field.
Yeah. Here's the problem with Madden gameplay
Brett Favre
wise.
was the size of
Here's the problem with Madden gameplay wise. They have the core gameplay experience.
Yeah.
And they will do gimmicks. Every year or two, they'll do a new gimmick. So the QB vision that they did one year, this thing this year. A couple years ago, it was like you would press X or B or Y to catch it different ways.
Different catches.
Here's the reality. They do that to, one, say they have a new feature.
Yeah, they do.
And two, they're just... It's like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Because every now and then, like the truck stick,
the hit stick.
In 2005, the new feature was
Fear the D.
Hit up on the stick
it really was
to plow into people. That is a change that is stuck. But they're like 1 for 7. Like 1 out of every 7 years, they come up with something that sticks.
Now, back in 2013, they did come up with the highlighted tackle, where you can use the analog to face where you want to tackle.
Did that stick?
I mean, they still use it now.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I think you just tackle.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like Madden doesn't quite evolve well.
Here's what's needed in the football game, and it's not going to happen because Madden has an exclusive license. And if you watch this podcast, we've complained about this before. We need a skate. Madden is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and they've made 1 million of them. We need a skate. We need someone to come out and say, "What if you don't pass by pressing a button? What if you pass by? What if you pass? What if you pass by flicking the right stick this way and that way?
Call it football.
You know, we need someone to come in and say, "Hey, we're going to rethink this whole thing." Too. Until that happens, you are going to get the same Madden with updated rosters and a new gimmick every year.
And that's why.
But there is one thing this year that is completely new,
which I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
You get introduced to a story mode.
Yeah.
It's called Long Shot. And I'm not going to spoil everything. Here's the basic plot.
I never thought I'd be hearing spoilers for or not.
Dude, that's what's
not
crazy.
Getting spoiled for Madden.
Dude, they're not missing much. I'm actually really disappointed with it. I overall, I thought this was I was telling you, I had time to think about it.
Yeah.
At first, I thought this was the bee's knees. As I thought about it, it sucked. He plays a guy named Devin Wade and his buddy Colt, who were students at the University of Texas. Who Devin Wade experienced a tragic situation in his life, and he dropped out of college. Thinking that he still has a talent to make it into the NFL, he goes to a regional combine where he gets approached by people to enter a reality TV show. He goes to a TV show, he gets a shot to go in the NFL. That's the story mode. Here's what my issue is. It's about 3-4 hours long. 3 hours of its movie, an hour of its gameplay.
Okay, let me say this.
Yeah.
As a not so much counterpoint, but I've played the first chapter, and oddly enough, I came in before I played that first chapter, and I actually came in and you were playing it, and I watched most of the second chapter. So that's probably I've seen a half of the game, if not maybe 2/3. Okay, so I've played a third of the game. I watched you play another third, and that was the movie chunk.
Yeah,
and I really liked it,
and that's what.
I guess what I don't know is I don't know how it all ends, and it depends because here's the thing, and I knew this going in. Maybe you didn't know. It's like it's like a Telltale.
Yeah.
It's not like where you play every game that he's in and you play
Madden.
Get
into the NFL.
You don't really play Madden very much in the story.
No, it's all mini games.
It's like there's mini games that simulate him doing things in practice, and there's a lot of like, okay, this situation happens. Do you intimidate this person? Do you, and
it's all about raising.
It's Telltale. It's basically Telltale / what's that one game? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
The decision here's what happens. The decisions
Life
you make.
is Strange.
I was into the characters. They're a little goofy and over the top. Because there's like the main character. There's his best friend who I didn't really like, but he was kind of endearing. He was kind of annoying. And then there was like this guy. Okay, look. There's this guy in the game because it's called Long Shot, and it's based on there's a TV show called Long Shot in the game. And this producer, there's a producer of the show.
This is you.
This is
you.
This man is the funniest thing I've ever. He is hilariously cruel.
He's beautiful.
He is like that scummy TV executive, and they wrote him perfectly. He's like, I'll tear up your contract. He's just like, and he's riding around on his hoverboard, and he's like, give me this other guy on the line. Like it's amazing. Like I honestly, you should play Long Shot just because you would crack up at this guy.
Yeah, you would like it.
I liked him as a character. Like I understood his motivation, and I thought he was like awful and slimy, but he made me laugh.
Yeah,
and he actually posed a threat to the main character. There's also a coach who coaches Devin, but the coach doesn't want to coach Devin. He wants to coach somebody else. But they picked Devin because Devin has a better story for this Long Shot TV show. So the coach reluctantly has to coach Devin, and Devin already is insecure and doesn't trust his coach. So it's like an interesting. I thought character-wise,
and that's why
there was a lot of cool stuff going on.
Talking about this,
I thought there was a lot of cool stuff going on.
Do you think that a lot of people will play the story?
Oh yeah,
a
lot of people, and it's getting a lot of good feedback.
Okay.
It's getting a lot of good feedback.
I just am picturing you telling me like. And this do this, and I'm like, I'm picturing these frat bros.
Here's the thing.
Like, sit down. Dude, did you finish the story?
Here's the thing, though. It's simple. Like, it's not complex.
Okay.
It appeals to the emotion. It doesn't. You don't have to. You do not have to have a high knowledge level of. They reference NFL players, and they actually teach you. Here's a cool thing.
So drunk frat bros can play this.
When you're playing,
you learn football.
Here's the thing: when you play it, they'll you'll be sitting there, you'll be playing Devin, and he'll be in the room, and the coach will throw up like a formation. He'll be like, "What's that formation called?" And he'll give you 3 options, and if you answer wrong, it'll go in your scouting report.
Hey.
But if you answer right, it'll go good in your scouting report. So basically, they teach you the deeper mechanics of football in this story mode by these character situations.
Game of the month.
So I haven't finished this.
Hey, this happened.
I haven't finished this, but for me. I think it would be worse if it was what you were thinking it was, which is you play a bunch of games.
Well,
this is exactly what you want in a Madden game for a story because it's just different. Mm-hmm. It's character driven because there's nothing else character driven about the game.
You're right.
It's not super in depth as far as gameplay wise. So you're able to be more passive, and it also teaches you more about the deeper levels of the game, and it's entertaining.
You sold me on Madden.
Here's my only stick, and this is why after I thought about it, I don't like it because I got to the ending. I wanted to experience life in the NFL with this guy.
you don't play in the NFL in this story.
Yeah, so that's
you play
why
I can see why people would be disappointed in that.
Yeah,
and that surprised me because you play flashbacks of his high school and
his
college and him in this like pre-draft process. But my understanding is you don't go. But I've got news for you. Next year, Madden's coming out, and you know what the story mode's going to be?
Devin Wade
in the NFL.
I'm sure.
I guarantee it.
And it might be.
So that's
and that might help.
And you know what? And the year after that, you'll get a new player, and Devin will be the coach. You know what I mean? Like
Devin
this
Wade's
thing
last game.
Yeah. This because remember when we watched
Devin Wade's son.
Remember when we watched that EA thing? Remember when we watched that EA press conference, and they were all talking about this guy, this soccer player, and we were like, "What the heck is this?" And it was like a fake. It was everybody in real life talking about this fake soccer player, and they were like, "This guy's coming back for another game." He was a guy from a story mode in FIFA, and they brought him back in a new FIFA.
Wow.
So that's where they're going. You will get to do that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was. I'm not saying, hey, I just think
it'll be like Devin Wade's grandkid or whatever.
My thing was like the mini games.
They'll rename Madden to Devin Wade.
Yeah, Devin Wade.
The mini games weren't as appealing as I thought they should have been.
The mini games were kind of hit or miss.
Yeah,
and there was one that was really cheap.
The story was good. I got attached to the characters.
Never in a million years thought we'd be talking about the story.
Dude, I know, right? I can't believe
it. What are we doing?
Hey, I'm gonna give them credit. They could have just kept putting out the same game and everyone would have still bought it. They went out of their way and made a story. And I read an interview with the writer of that story, and he wrote it like a movie script. Mm-hmm. They worked on it for years. Madden got everything set up for them to have an actual real-life coach play the coach in the game. And the writer said no, because he said, I want this coach to be able to have issues, and I can't write issues into a real person because it gets too close to reality.
Yeah.
So the people at Madden said, okay, we will let you make your own coach. Yeah. So to me, that shows that they're at least open to doing creative things.
They should have gotten Madden himself and said Madden at one point has a cigar and a pile of cocaine.
You see, Devin?
I think the coolest.
It's time to play. I think big league
for me.
And make him a real.
Hey, the next Madden needs to be like GTA, and in between your games, you can run around the city.
Yeah, and Madden chases you, and it's this evil creep man.
They need to go Saints Row the third.
Oh
with
my
Madden.
gosh!
Yeah.
Last touch.
Madden's Row.
In terms of Madden, I'll be done. And we'll go move on.
Madden Theft Auto.
Madden Theft Auto. You threw me off so bad.
Madden Theft Auto. Oh my god.
To touch on the terms of teaching you football, I think the coolest part of going through that was you were sitting with me.
Yeah.
And I'm getting drilled by this coach, and I coach football.
Yeah, you literally coach football.
I coach football. And he put me in front of this defensive formation. He's like, is this a 30, 40, or 50 set? And I sat there and looked at it. I was like, 30, 40, 50. And I was like,
you didn't even know?
I don't know. And I'm sitting there, I'm counting the safeties. I'm counting linebacker. It just didn't count. It didn't come full form. I was like, oh, it's the defensive lineman set. I was like, oh, so there's 5 down linemen. It's a 50 set. Oh gosh, I'm an idiot.
But you learned.
I learned.
I gotta say, and I need to finish it, and so it's not really contradicting because we all have different feelings. For me, this is exactly. I threw this on a Saturday afternoon, and my girlfriend laid on the couch, and honestly, she was gonna take a nap, but she started watching me play it. And she just...
Hey, the story's attractive.
It's kind of like a poor man's Friday Night Lights. That show is amazing. And so it's kind of like that. You get these characters, you get to know them a little bit. Not poor man's it's bad, but just poor man's it's not actually Friday Night Lights. So
I genuinely think you'd walk away with it that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. Madden. Well...
Who would have
Something else happened very recently. If you were eating Pop-Tarts like I do, I eat Pop-Tarts. Are you Pop-Tarts fans?
I like blueberry.
I like
blueberries, wild berries.
You're definitely a Monster fan.
Sometimes
you didn't have one this
Monster
time.
sponsors us some
Monsters.
Nice,
we're sponsored by Mountain Dew Kickstarter today.
All right, let's do it.
So they sponsored, or they gave XP, didn't they, to Destiny players?
Pop-Tarts?
Yes. If you bought them, you get XP in the box.
If you buy Pop-Tarts, you get XP in Destiny.
I heard you eat in the middle of the Pop-Tart and you break it, and there's a little piece of paper, and there's your code.
There's a little piece of paper.
No, but I wish.
Oh. You bite into the Pop-Tart, and on the back of it, it's got a Grimoire card printed on it.
Yeah, that's the story. You eat the Pop-Tart, you get the story.
But hey, if you want to get the story for this Destiny game, Go out and buy. It's in the value pack.
They give you an
get
option.
8 Grimoire cards printed on the
You
back.
either get the card or you have to eat the Pop-Tart to get the XP.
Yeah.
You choose which one you want. Store your XP, guys.
Yeah.
Make the pick.
Other than that,
promotion
Destiny 2,
for Destiny 2 is kicked into pull my hair out and put
Call
my
of
head in the
Duty.
toilet.
It's Call of Duty mode.
It's beyond that.
So it's very hyper.
Yeah.
The advertising kicked into gear. The other day I was asked. I don't know. Was that you? Who asked? It might have been you or somebody asked in their group chat. Said, "Who wants to do the PC beta?"
It was me.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I had almost negative interest. And like a negative. Like I went the other way of interest. So, but you played it.
Okay.
And
okay, so here's what we got to do. Okay, there is Destiny 1.
Yep.
And there is all of the awful decisions made from pretty much the beginning of the development of that game. And then all of the awful PR nonsense defending that game. And then all of the just a very annoying, everything about that game is frustrating and annoying. Okay. And then you have Destiny 2. And right from the get-go, this game got off on the wrong foot. Hang with me. If you like Destiny, hang with me. Right from the get-go.
We like the gameplay.
Right from
At
the
least
get-go,
from
Destiny got off on the wrong foot with me with the
Story-wise,
giant logo,
also.
like the giant 2, and then that press conference.
My gosh.
The press conference was literally, I thought it was not what they need to do. If they want to appeal to other people, they need to show why this game is different, not why it is the same thing. Yeah. And I did not feel like that press conference did a good job at all doing that.
Yeah.
So on and on and on and on. Okay, so then all this summer we've been getting scummy PR releases.
Yeah, we've talked about in the past podcasts. Terrible.
If you love Destiny's 1's PvP, it's going to pass away, but in its ashes will birth whatever that PR guy said.
Yeah.
The quote:
"A beautiful butterfly.
A beautiful butterfly will rise up, and it will be the new." Okay,
or beautiful phoenix. The phoenix will rise or something. Yeah.
I'm with you. Okay. In all of these, peripheral things, this is a game that is so off-putting on its surface, okay? Mm-hmm. But here's what I did. Because I never really gave... It's different. You bought the first game and, really, truly played it, right? Yes. I never really got to play Destiny 1. I played probably, 5-10 hours of it with Jake, a little bit with my brother.
And I sold it.
And it didn't really capture me. It didn't really do it for me. So... what I did was, I said, hey, they're doing this beta. It's on PC. That is free. I was curious how it would play on PC, so I downloaded this beta last night. I played it a couple hours last night, and then an hour or two this afternoon after work. So I have some thoughts, okay? First thing, let me tell you what's included in the beta. You get the first story mission of the game, okay? You get
half the game.
Yeah. Well, that to be determined. You get a strike. So basically, a strike is their version of an MMO dungeon. So it's a 20 to 30 minute dungeon with different areas and then a big boss at the end. You get a strike, and then you get a casual PvP mode that's like a capture point thing, and there's a competitive PvP. I haven't played the competitive one yet, but I've played the first story mission. I have played the strike multiple times now, and I have played a few matches of the PvP. So here's what I want to say. On the story, okay? I have notes written down because I really want to relay
I feel like
this.
anything would be better than the first
I haven't talked to these guys about this, and I want to just kind of share this. Okay, the story mission of this game, the first story mission, feels like the opening level to a Halo game.
Okay, cool.
I'm not saying it's equal to, but it feels like it. As far as just the beating drums, you are immediately... I started Destiny 1, and you're like in a wasteland, and you're like talking to Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
You're like stumbling through
trash.
Broken trash and broken buildings. No, this game starts out, and there is a CGI cutscene right at the beginning that's just kind of whatever. And then it's like you are in a buildings are collapsing on you. There are like civilians trapped in rooms. Yeah. You're like breaking open doors. You're busting through this place. And you are pushing through, and you're like opening doors, and there's like sniper lasers all over you, and there are just lots of cool moments that I was like, okay, Bungie, this is the kind of opening level I would expect from you. Yeah. This is what you should have opened Destiny 1 with. So that's right off the bat. The opening level is just rock solid. They take a page from Final Fantasy XIV, which is the level where everything's getting destroyed at the beginning of the game, is the entire hub level of the first Destiny. So you are running through that hub, and it's getting destroyed.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's how the game opens, is like the hub is getting destroyed, and you're like trying to get out of there. Okay, so very good pacing. The level is probably like 30-ish minutes.
Did they kill all the Grimoire library?
I don't know about that.
It'd been cool if they just lit that on fire and then like they had to start a new history.
They'll go with the Grimoire cards.
Not the Grimoire cards.
No, they were never in the game. Not the Grimoire cards.
It'd be the laptop.
Oh, they did do something really funny, which was, where's the speaker? Where is he? And someone just says over the radio, the speaker's gone. And I was just like, that's perfect, because he didn't do anything anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have time to tell you whether we don't.
The level has like a section of you getting out, and then there's a section of you getting on one of the enemy ships that's attacking you, and going into this ship and like breaking the crap out of the middle of it, and then getting off of it before it goes down. So that 30 minutes makes up the opening level. It's paced so well. You're never like going into like the same room and fighting the same dudes. It's like you get used to these guys. Well, then there's these guys with blades, and they've got like incendiary packs on their back you can shoot. And then you go in this room, and there's like sniper lasers all over you. And then they mix in the sniper laser guys with shield guys, and it was reminiscent of Halo, where they kept throwing in different enemy types that complemented each other. I will say this. The core conflict of the story, the way it's set up in the first mission, seems to have some potential. In particular, the antagonist. There's a bad guy that's introduced in it, and I didn't really know what to expect. Dude's pretty menacing. Dude is pretty menacing. I thought it was cool. It was on the level of like with the Arbiter in the second Halo game of just like, okay, cool. This guy seems he reminded me of a brute, basically. Yeah. He reminded me of the bad guy, the bad brute guy in Halo 2. So there's that, and then the CGI cutscenes, and this will get into kind of a theme I'm going to talk about in a minute. They have these CGI cutscenes, and it is nothing like Halo. So they full on embrace like CGI that looks different than the gameplay. Mm-hmm. And what it reminds me of is stuff Blizzard has always done.
Yeah.
Blizzard has always done that with like
this is
Warcraft.
Beyond the Blizzard thing.
And that's what I was going to bring up is
Blizzard.net or
this to me, and the big theme of this is Destiny 1 always felt like if you took Blizzard and mixed it with Halo, but then took out all the heart. Yeah. That is what Destiny 1 felt like. This feels like Blizzard mixed with Halo, but they're injecting a little bit of heart and passion back into it. That's what it feels like. So, the bad, though. There are bad things, okay? This is still in the story. I'm not a fan of the quippy Avengers-style dialogue.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of it. It's not constant, but your little robot guy is voiced by Nolan North, and he's just making little jokes about like the environment and things, and it's just like a wet fart. Like, go away with it. If I could mute him, I would. The 3 Guardian leaders, one of them is like that dude, the blue face.
That guy.
Him. So the blue face guy's name's Cade something. He's just annoying to me. And then the other 2 are like very serious. We have got to do this, Guardians. And then there's a girl that I honestly was thinking today. I was like, what did she even look like? She was in all these scenes, and I was like, I couldn't even tell her. I couldn't tell someone what she even looked like.
That was my problem with
so
all of Destiny 1 of like, I couldn't remember the characters. Everybody's freaking covering up their face.
Yeah.
Everyone's face you couldn't see. Yeah. Probably because they were embarrassed to be in the game.
So, yeah.
I don't know why
so the 3 Guardian leaders return. They're not really there for much of the mission, but they kind of all run off and do their own thing, and they're still in the game, and they're still all 2 very bland and 1 just kind of and so I'm not expecting much character development with that. I'm hoping they just introduce new characters and kind of like push them to the side where they belong. And so overall, story-wise, this is not going to reach Halo heights for me. One, because I'm nostalgic for Halo.
Like an improvement.
But I think it's an improvement. It's a step in the right direction. There's actually something happening. So, okay, gameplay, amazingly satisfying gunplay. It feels better on mouse and keyboard than it even does on controller, which surprised me because they've always been controller guys with their shooters. Very satisfying enemy types. There's like these great animations when you shoot the guys. Like if you shoot their arms like flail back and stuff. It's pretty impressive stuff. Awesome set pieces, especially in this strike. There are like some, like you'll jump down in this giant hole, and there's like this giant drill that's like circling around, and you're jumping on different levels, like trying to dodge this drill while you're fighting enemies. And the best way I know to describe it is they've introduced a lot of platforming things in the Halo shooting, and you can double jump in this game because you're a Guardian, I guess, and you have double jump ability. So they're doing cool things with like movement and verticality with the shooting that surprised me, and cool set pieces. There's one where you walk out on a battlefield and there's all like these giant ditches, and it's like an open sandbox of a battlefield, but you're not there for very long. So I don't know, I don't know if they improved that. I don't know, but it was cool visually. Cool boss. There's a cool boss at the end of the strike that has like multiple stages and stuff that surprised me. And my biggest problem with Destiny 1 was I feel like every single mission was go here and your ghost does something while you defend it, and you stand there and take on 3 waves. You really don't do that. You only do that once in what all I played. So they mix up the objectives a lot and stuff. So that's kind of the bottom line from the beta. I played a little bit of the PvP. It was fun. I still like Halo better because you're picking up different types of weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
But, okay, so here, I say all that to say this. Promotion-wise, okay, like PR team-wise, they just released a trailer that was like, what is Destiny? And they had all these quippy jokes throughout it and stuff, and it made me want to barf. All of those things are obnoxious.
Yeah.
But this game is a better game than the first Destiny. If the beta is any indication, this is a much better game, and I think that this game's going to be huge.
Really?
Playing this beta, and then I'm talking to people. I have friends that didn't even play the first one, but they have PCs, and they're like, my friend at Micro Center, he's like, all of my friends are buying this game. He's like, I'm going to buy it too. Like, Destiny 2 is going to be freaking massive.
Well, it's on everybody's Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
You're eating them in the morning.
So
how many Pop-Tarts I got to eat to get the DLC?
My attitude is I'm hoping for the best, but I also know that Bungie continually puts their foot in their mouth. So, with just the dumb things they do and say. Yeah. So, I'm hoping it's a good game. If reviews come out,
I want them to do
if
well.
reviews come out and say that the story is really good, I'll consider picking this up because I'll have a bunch of friends playing it.
Yeah.
But the story will have to be really good for me because I'm not the kind of guy who's going to play these strikes over and over again. So Grimoire cards are out. The only real problem I have with the beta is like all these things are different. Like Grimoire cards are out. Basically, like loot, I guess, has changed. How you get loot and leveling has changed. But in the beta, everyone just has the same level, and you don't gain experience, and you don't gain loot. So the beta was the perfect opportunity to show people like how it's changed, but they didn't.
They don't know yet.
Like, you just have a level, you don't get any loot at the end of the mission, and you know. So I still don't know how any of that works.
You have to buy Pop-Tarts and eat them, and then take the code out and put them in, and you level up.
To be determined, because they could still screw that up.
Yeah.
But so all that being said, all the promotion stuff, we're going to continue to give Destiny 2 crap for all the things that there's crap for. But I think as far as gameplay's never been the question with this game, but it looks like story-wise they're at least doing something that is respectable. At least it seems like they're at least trying.
Yeah.
So.
I hope.
But the way that the trailer and stuff and what you were saying with the quippy little dialogue, that stuff I think is going to be... That'll be the whole game. Like, that's going to be in the story a lot.
We'll see.
I feel like they promoted it so much. You've already played it in the beta. That's going to be in there to stay. So that's not really for me.
I hope they prove me wrong.
I mean, it sounds like they've improved it. So
if the level design of that first level holds up for a full campaign, I would play it just to have a Halo style campaign again on PC.
It's cool that it came to PC.
But I'm going to be really watching these reviews and seeing, because it's going to take like tens. It's going to take like, hey,
you're
this is the best.
Breath of the Wild reviews.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But at least to me, playing the beta, I'm open to seeing what happens with it. The other element of that is, though, I'm not big on paid DLC. And this is just going to have paid DLC. Their model is like $40, another $40 every 6 months.
They're already going to milk that stuff. But.
So that is something that makes it hard for me to get on board too. But
all right,
that's Destiny. That's
Destiny.
on Destiny.
I hope the best for you. But guess what? Somebody that did not get a good reaction. Real quick, just to mention this because I just thought it's a funny thing. I'll put it here in the podcast. Valve made this big deal and had this big presentation. What was it for?
So they were at the Dota invitation.
Okay, so
they did a press conference for Valve, and they said we've got some announcements.
So at any Valve thing, it's like
they don't
3.
do
That's where your mind goes
yeah.
to, or something like that. Or even a Portal game. Just you know what I mean? That's where your mind goes to.
Anything.
They make this big deal. They make this big thing. This
new
logo,
IP.
Logo comes up. Yeah. Artifact.
And then all this music.
And people go
nuts.
Because it's like, it's a new Valve game.
It might be like a hero shooter. It might be...
it's a new IP, whatever. And then it pops up, the card game or something. You hear the room, the energy gets sucked out of the room like, oh.
And they're at the Dota Invitational.
Yeah.
These are Dota fans, and it's a Dota card game. And they're like, oh.
And it's like, we have to stop. I feel like this is the final straw of stop the card games. Like we get it. It is like everyone is milking everything to death. Like, stop the card games. So this is our kind of commercial to say, stop the card games. We're done. Please stop it.
Past it.
Get to play your Yu-Gi-Oh.
Play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Play your Magic. Play your Hearthstone.
Don't
make it
more stuff to crap on. Which is going to be funny for one of the things on here. Xbox, Gamescom happened. Lots of little announcements there. So there's some
know this was happening.
A lot of stuff we mentioned. A lot of stuff that's coming up is Gamescom related. But they delayed Crackdown 3, which looked very downgraded because they made a big deal about these cloud servers. All the buildings are falling, and it's going to be cloud is going to run it. The cloud's going to do everything. This new one looked just like another game.
That was a proof of concept. That was not actually running.
Well, I think a lot of stuff changed when they did the always online thing. Yeah. When that stuff changed, I think that really broke that game and other stuff. A lot of stuff is like casualty from that.
Crackdown 1,
when they changed it.
I probably played Crackdown 1 the most out of anybody I know, and it was like a 7.5 out of 10. It was fun. I don't need a third one.
They also announced Recore Enhanced
because the first one went over so well,
and that was just an okay mediocre game. It seemed like 4K. They're up-resing that to like I guess 4K with their new like Xbox XX or whatever, and 4K Kinect games they announced.
They stopped packaging the Kinect.
Please clap
with the Xbox. Like, let it die.
Please clap.
Like,
and I put on here what's an Xbox?
Okay.
What the frick is an Xbox? Because I'm seeing these announcements. I'm going like, what do we do with an Xbox? Where's the games on Xbox? Where are the first party games on an Xbox?
Did you also see Age of Empires 4 was announced, but not for Xbox, just on Windows?
So why? I'm pleading on my knees, Microsoft. Tell me why I need to buy an Xbox. Because I started this generation going, I'm getting an Xbox One and I'm getting a PS4.
4K.
Oh, is 4K. It how many teraflops though?
Okay,
4K.
Zach.
4K.
I've got a word for you.
4K.
Okay. I've got news for you.
Okay, I'm on my knees begging.
It's all about 4K.
So I happened into a little present this month. My younger brother, my beloved younger brother, had an Xbox One that had not been plugged in months. He was not playing.
Because he was asking the same question.
He was asking the same question
as well.
And he knows I'm a video game fan, and I love gifts. And he said, "Hey, you can have this Xbox." He gave it to me. Okay.
Well, didn't you have to buy him Chipotle?
I have that. Yeah, I was going to buy him Chipotle, and he gave me this. So I have an Xbox.
Pretty fair trade.
Wow.
And my goal, now that I'm on Team Xbox One, even though this is a dying team. This is
like Major Nelson.
Yeah.
Once I'm on Team Xbox One,
my goal is one, to figure out what is working, if anything is working with this thing. Okay. And then number two, my goal this month was to try to figure out how to, drum roll please, make Xbox great again.
Okay. Oh.
I have an agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, Travis McCoy.
After 1 month with an Xbox One, and I will talk in a minute about what I am doing with it, the couple things I think are good about it. The one thing that I wanted to do was come up with an agenda of how I would make Xbox great. If I could kick Phil Spencer to the curb and take over Xbox, here's what I would do.
Right.
And if you like my ideas, I want you to comment and share this, okay?
Yeah.
This is big stuff. This is big stuff.
MXGA.
Okay. First thing, I want to take you back on memory lane. 2007. Sony had a failing console on its hands, the PS3. They were losing all of their exclusives. Assassin's Creed was going to be an exclusive. They lost it to Xbox. GTA 4 was going to be an exclusive. They lost it to Xbox, right? Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy had always been a Sony exclusive since 7. They lost it to Xbox. Yeah. They were in the same shoes that Xbox is in now.
Yeah.
No exclusives. Meanwhile, Xbox is sitting there with BioShock, sitting down there with Elder Scrolls. They had Morrowind and Oblivion were exclusives at one point. They had Fallout 3 on launch. They had Halo 3, Gears of War, Fable 2. Mm-hmm. Microsoft was in Sony's current shoes back then, right? So what did Sony do? Sony locked down its exclusives.
Yeah.
They reinvested in making new IPs like Uncharted and stuff like that. And then they went after Xbox's exclusives. What they didn't do was bury their head and say, we don't believe in exclusives. And that's what Phil Spencer's doing. He's burying his head. So here's what I would do to make Xbox great again, right? Number one, lean on your strengths. The biggest strength of Microsoft is Windows 10. So my biggest change would be make every Xbox have Windows 10 in it. And you can press a button on the menu and it goes to a full Windows 10 desktop right there in your living room. What that does is it allows you to cut off Steam, so they're not putting their Steam boxes in the living room, Xboxes in the living room, and it allows your Xbox One X's, these super powerful consoles, to actually use what's in them to play Steam games and to play true PC games. That's the first thing I would do. Second thing I would do, rededicate themselves to Western RPGs. I am sick of Xbox talking about Japanese games. They're not going to get them. Yeah. They don't want to. We need to get rid of the Japanese games in this country. We need to bring back Western games. Xbox was always the home of Western RPGs like Morrowind, Knights of the Old Republic, Oblivion, Mass Effect. That is how they built their brand. Was they had these. So that's what they need to do. They need to stop pursuing Japanese RPGs and they need to invest in Western RPGs. And when possible, they need to make partnerships with Western RPG developers. First thing I would do, okay, I would sign. Who's that company? Obsidian. Yeah. They have been looking for someone to buy them forever. I would buy Obsidian, and I would take Shadowrun, which is an RPG property that Microsoft has exclusive rights to, and I would have Obsidian make a first-party exclusive, second-party exclusive Shadowrun RPG.
Okay.
Full AAA Shadowrun RPG.
All out.
I'm hearing all the stuff you're saying. None of it's gonna happen.
Then I would take the coalition.
None of it's
I would
happen.
take the coalition, and I would take 343 Industries, the two companies that are just putting out Gears of War and Halo games, and I would give them both a $200 million budget and say, make a new IP.
You're getting Halo Wars 3.
Make a new IP. I would take the people that make Halo Wars 2, and I would take them, and I would say, hey, you need to make an Age of Empires MOBA. They have all these properties. If I were them, I would take all these properties. I would sign these guys to new things. I would take, what's their name, Rare, and I would get them working on a new IP right away. Right after Sea of Thieves is done, get a new IP going. I would be pushing out all these new IPs. Go buy Hitman. Hitman's looking for someone to buy it. Buy Hitman. You're all about games as service.
Buy Ubisoft.
That's a game as service. That's what I was going to say. Tom Clancy games. Buy Tom Clancy. Ubisoft is going down the drain. Buy all the Tom Clancy games from Ubisoft and make Ghost Recon and Splinter Cell. Make those all Xbox exclusive.
Wow, this is huge.
Rededicate yourselves to all these Western games, Western military games, Western RPGs. That's what they need to do. And then, this is basically what they need to do. They need to make a Ninja Gaiden. They've had exclusive rights to that for a long time. They should make a Ninja Gaiden game. They should do all of these things. But all the stuff I'm saying is sad because they're not doing it.
Yeah.
And the reason that they're not doing it is because Phil Spencer, for some reason, believes that this is the core philosophy. Is he believes that exclusive games are bad because exclusive games make it to where games won't last in the future. And he's wrong. This is why he's wrong. If something is exclusive to just a console, that's true. Yeah. It will be locked to that console. But if you make it exclusive to your console and your Windows platform, that's okay, right? So you need to make things that are exclusive for you, but not just for everyone.
I really don't
and
feel
he doesn't understand
like we're big on the ideal of making it boot into Windows 10
Yeah.
or do the whatever thing.
And that
I
gets-
don't think they'll ever do that. The more I think about it, because they're scared of Steam. They know that they'll take the sales from the instead of using the Windows Store and all that stuff.
But then they can keep if they did that, then they would have every reason in the world to keep their games off of Steam.
Yeah. So you got to choose. Do you want people to buy an Xbox or not? So
Here's my thing.
That's your choice.
I appreciate your willingness to step forward and take charge of the
All right,
situation.
or
I just think it's not
Take a
going to
bush.
happen.
It's not going to happen.
We have to face the facts.
But you got to sit here and look at all of the IPs that they have available. The one thing that they are doing well is they are embracing service-based monthly subscription like Netflix for games things.
Yeah.
They have EA Access on the Xbox One, and they have Xbox Game Pass. And both of those things are super convenient. We actually got EA Access.
Skate 3.
It's like $30 for the year or $5 a month. We got like Skate. I downloaded Mirror's Edge.
For Skate 3
I downloaded
back.
Titanfall
Skate
2,
3
which
is
is not an old game. I downloaded Titanfall 2, ready to play that.
That was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. They've got Battlefield 1 on there. So that's an awesome part of having an Xbox is you can pay $5 a month and get access to a lot of games.
I can do that on
So
PC.
as far as I can tell, that's just about the only good
My
thing.
only kick. There's no reason to own it because it has nothing to offer. When you say like, hey,
Yeah.
they need
Because
exclusives.
you guys already have PCs, so it's like,
Yeah.
why?
Josh, my little brother, he bought an Xbox One a year ago. He played through the Halo series. He texted me today. Do you know anyone who's buying an Xbox One S?
Tell them to buy him Chipotle.
Dude, he might take it.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, like, Xbox, you has dug themselves in so far a hole.
Well,
that-
they're not, and that's the thing though. They are selling units, but they're selling units basically just on brand recognition.
Yes.
Okay? So
Yes,
I have
big
friends
time.
that are buying Xboxes, and they probably don't know that there's not a lot of exclusives.
Yeah.
And if they did, they might not even necessarily care because they just want to play Madden and Call of Duty, and they've always
I
played
think there's
those
a
on
lot
Xbox.
of people riding this.
So they
this
will
wave of
always
brand recognition,
sell
yeah.
some units just on that.
Yeah.
But if they want to excel, I mean,
Like, how long is it going to last? Because, like, but yeah, there's people like my nephew and stuff that bought the Xbox One X because, like,
Kids like
360
Xbox because they, even though you can get Minecraft on anything else, they associate Minecraft
And a big
with
thing,
Xbox.
too, is, like, you buy the system that your friends have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you play online.
And Xbox
And that's how it's
Live-
going to be for, like, people with Destiny and stuff, too. It's like, are you need it for PC? I'm going to get it for wherever my friends are at. Like, if they're on
Yeah.
PC, then you're going to get it for PC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you're on Xbox, you're on Xbox. But
I just think
let you know, I don't know. I got in trouble. One commenter got mad at our E3 thing, but I said this was Microsoft's do or die at E3, and they chose to die. I just didn't feel like there was still not anything.
there's
big.
no sense of urgency. They don't feel like their
At
product's
the
dying.
very least.
Like they are either getting ready to, like, kind of slowly back out of the console race entirely, or because it just seems like there's just no effort.
When
No,
are we gonna
They're-
get,
it's
when
weird.
are we going to get Xbox Game Pass on your PS4? Like, that almost,
Yeah.
like, if this Xbox
They
One
don't
thing
need to
don't
do
work
it.
out,
Like it's so.
why even mess with the hardware? They're a software company.
Yeah.
Microsoft is a software company.
Yeah. It's weird, and I
Again,
don't know what's going to go on.
They don't
We'll
know
see.
what they're doing. They just don't know what they're doing.
But enough of that. On to good
like
stuff.
WCW.
Or, to some people, bad things. But I think good. You choose. Shenmue 3.
Oh, man.
New trailer. Now, it's not being published by Sega anymore. It's or Sony.
Or Sony, which is weird.
Yes.
Because
That is.
it was
I just,
so what is Sony's involvement with this game?
I'm not
They
sure.
just gave money.
Is Sony's involvement?
They
we
must have done
announced
an
it?
initial investment or something. They must have gave because I guess they did get money.
Because the big scandal
Now
was,
it's Deep Silver, and you put in parentheses on here on these notes. They did Mighty Number 9, Agents of Mayhem.
And those are both stinkers.
What did I think about this? Well, I watched the trailer, and I have two thoughts about primarily the thing that people can't stop talking about, the freaking faces look like dolls.
Yeah.
Like motionless dolls. But my second thing on that is I loved it because somebody on the NeoGaf, when we go on the NeoGafs
Oh, yeah.
forum or whatever.
NeoGaf.
That's what they call it. The kids do. And somebody summed it up perfectly. Said, "This looks like a Dreamcast game." But it's in 2017. Like this, I know this looks better,
like
but this is a Dreamcast feeling, capturing what a Dreamcast game feels like, and that's how I felt. I loved how the Shenmue logo comes up. Na, 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 na. They show some gameplay. They show like all this happening.
It's
like,
literally cut and paste the same way.
And then da, na, 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 the logo comes up again, and the second time, and I'm cracking up, loving it, because if you've played the original, that's kind of the mood of this, like a moody, like I have to find the person, you know, that killed my father. I have to find this bad man or whatever. And he's like going through the city, and like these little schoolgirls are yelling like, do you know who Lon D is? Get away from me, you crazy man! And it's hilarious. It's hilarious, and it is so fun. I beat both of them very recently and loved them, and I'm looking forward to this. I was reading in that thread and elsewhere, somebody said, I don't know, I think it was people that actually did the Kickstarter for a lot of money, that said we saw this trailer a year ago. So they said this was more of like, we wanted to have something to show to have show something, but they said like, take that for what you will. This is old like work that they showed. I thought it. So people yelling about the faces. Maybe it was kind of weird to show it if it did look this way.
That's interesting.
Why are they showing?
But I think this will look better, and even if the faces were as they were in the trailer, I am expecting this type of style. Like, that's what I want. Like, this is what I like Kickstarter in the first place.
The year-old trailer.
So yeah, it being Mighty number 9, maybe.
Well, what I was gonna say is that all makes sense.
Yeah.
And I played Shenmue 2, and I don't remember a lot of it because I was young. The Deep Silver thing to me isn't concerning in the sense of the graphics being bad or anything. It's concerning to me, and they're a publisher. They're not a developer, and they might develop games, but they're not developing this game.
Yeah.
What is concerning to me is those Mighty number 9 and Agents of Mayhem. Those are games that didn't really get finished.
Yes, but
that's what worries me about Shenmue is it's not that it might not be good. Yeah. It's going to be like a kind of crappy good quality. Yeah. It's going to be like what do you call what's that one game we played all together where it's like Twin Peaks.
Deadly Premonition.
It's going to be like that probably in terms of like it's good but bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I'm hoping that it's finished.
Yes.
Like, I'm hoping you don't get a unfinished
game.
With
Mighty number 9, it was weird, like, because even people came out and said, like, this guy is a good director, he's not a game developer.
Yeah.
So I think there was other stuff, just not because of Deep Silver 9. Yeah. I think there's the developers that have, like, issues doing stuff, too. I think funding it definitely is a part of it, like, to see what they can get done.
Is it weird that Sony didn't, maybe Sony thought that's cool that it's a good, but bad. So bad it's good kind of quality. Maybe Sony was like, yeah, we don't want to put our name on it. And that's why.
I mean,
because Sony is like the poster child of everything they make looks like amazing, like The Last of Us and God of War.
When this comes out next year, next year? It says 2018.
That's exciting. I'm glad that you got a trailer and you were excited.
So I'm excited, but Next thing, somebody on NeoGAF called this, so we're just going to call it the same thing. Final Fantasy 15, You Fix It Then edition. Because you'll be able to get mods. Which will be cool.
So stupid for buying Final Fantasy 15 day one on PS4. Because I knew I wasn't going to play it anytime soon.
But
I still have not played it. I still have not played it.
I didn't know it was going to come this fast.
And now it's coming out on PC.
Nobody knew that.
And I have it on PS4, but I would rather play it on PC.
Yeah. But I don't think anybody had the kind of like...
I thought it was going to be a year.
I thought it was going to be 2 or 3 years.
I waited, guys.
I thought 1 year. Yeah.
I'm a genius.
You're a genius. You must be, because I thought the way they were making this...
yet, and I knew.
I just didn't know that they would be so fast to do it. But
it's impressive.
It's 4K. All this freaking crap they've thrown into it. I watched gameplay, and it's unbelievable.
I want to play that game in 60 frames.
Good freaking luck. Like, I looked at it and was like, I mean, they're throwing so many like technical
in
terms
1080p,
and
it'll
stuff.
be fun.
Lots of teraflops.
Your Mac can't
A lot
handle
of
it?
their
Oh gosh,
a lot of those
stuff.
a lot of those recommended specs. If you actually read, it was recommended specs for 4K, 60 frames. So when
Gotcha.
it recommended a 1080,
I'm just saying, like they
it
were
was
saying,
for
like the
4K.
hair thing that's in the Tomb Raider game.
yeah,
That's gonna be on all the freaking
the NVIDIA
people.
hair
Also, there's gonna be 4 party members running around with the hair flowing thing.
The
It's
hair
gonna, like,
flow.
how are you gonna run that? So,
I'd turn that stuff off anyway.
but I love it. I love the hair.
Gotta see the
hair. But they announced a bunch of new stuff, and I want to talk about Final Fantasy 15 in general. How I'm feeling about this these days. They announced a Pocket Edition. It's like a retelling in on iPhone and stuff in 10 episodes. So they're using like the dialogue for the full game, and it's kind of weird seeing these chibi characters with this great voice acting. It's kind of odd. They announced a multiplayer update or something.
Yeah.
For the full game?
Yeah, you'll be able to play multiplayer.
What?
So that'll be kind of cool.
I know, right?
Like co-op or PvP?
It's like co-op. It looked like co-op. I could be wrong, but there wasn't much details on that yet.
Just let it go.
But then they announced some Assassin's Creed, like, kind of like
I saw that and
promotion
it went
thing.
into my brain as I don't know what to think of this, and I'm gonna act like I didn't see it.
So they, this has turned in from like at first like, hey, you're gonna have the anime and then all this. Okay, it's kind of cool. I feel like all this stuff, like the Pocket Edition, there's also another thing I was seeing today. Maybe it's on that Mobius game they added, the 15 or all this stuff for iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much Final Fantasy 15. And then there's like 3 DLCs that I felt like maybe should have been in the game. Because the way that they are like marketing what I know about them, like the Ignis and
Have you played
like
them?
episode whatever, it sounds like stuff that happens at a part in the game. Like, this is what was happening when we just skipped that part. And
Plot hole, the DLC.
and I don't want to buy that DLC. DLC is what the left out things.
It's not free?
Yeah.
No, you gotta pay for it.
Oh, I thought all these episodes were like...
No.
Hey,
They're
because they
not.
said they were
No.
going to add the story back in.
You gotta pay for it.
Well, that stuff they did for free, what you're talking about. But this stuff, I'm saying, they're saying, oh, the episode Ignis is when this was blah, blah. I don't want to spoil stuff, but like during this part or whatever, we just skipped. Over, like time or whatever started.
How
going
long
through.
are these? Like,
10 episodes.
no, how long are these?
Oh, I
The
know.
DLC, I'm not sure. But I'm kind of sick of Final Fantasy 15. There's so much crap. They're like,
this
the
universe
Pocket
has not been out very
it's
long.
not stopping, and I want to get off the train, and they like,
Dude,
they're like,
they
no, you
said-
want
They
more.
like
They
jam the door.
said-
They are jamming it down. And now,
They
first,
said this was going to be the new 7, and they are forcing it.
yeah, they're forcing it down my throat.
Oh well, what can
so,
you do?
I liked 15. I mean, I think I gave it my second game of the year, or third last year.
You did.
I really still enjoy that original game and that feel, the way it made me feel and stuff. I think it nailed what I was looking for. Leave me the heck alone now.
Leave
it's like
me alone.
It's like a telemarketer that keeps calling the phone, and I'm done with Final Fantasy 15. I don't know. Can't even say it right.
I think we need to go to the most frustrating part of August, in my opinion. Like
Is the next what
this
go?
is the
Ahead.
SNES, the SNES orders.
Oh, okay. I
This grinded my gears.
like to when I like
Super
Amiibos,
Nintendo?
collector's edition. Part of the thrill for me, like getting those things, I'm goofy. I'm a little weird boy.
Mm-hmm.
I like the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
I love it's gone up. Is it up yet? Oh my gosh, this went up. And racing to like that. Part of me, I don't know, likes the thrill of that chase. I don't know what it is. This is the Super Nintendo Classic. I skipped the NES Classic because it sounded like hell on earth. It sounded like nobody had them.
Yeah.
It sounded like an ordeal to do, and I was like, I'm going to skip out. This year, I decided I'm dumb. I decided I didn't have any common sense anymore. And I decided to go after the Super Nintendo Classic. And my God. First up, got the Walmart. Me and you got Walmart. Those went up.
Walmart and me aren't on great terms.
Yeah, you've had a lot of problems.
I think they got on to what I was trying to do, and they just like, okay, we'll cancel this guy's order.
Yeah.
He owes us about $450. So
you did get 2 VRs.
Did get 2 PlayStation VRs on accident.
But it's just we got it. They ended up canceling an order. It's like frick because I thought I had been able to sleep well. Mm-hmm. Then what happens? Okay, Gamescom happens. There's a trailer, really sick trailer for the Super Nintendo Classic.
Like really awesome.
Really 90s style, looked great. Okay, there was rumblings. Hey, it's going up at 1 p.m. Walmart, whatever. I'm right there at 1 o'clock on Walmart. I'm in front. I got my everything's ready to go.
Refresh.
I refresh. I click in there. Error. This item's no longer available. Oh, it was in my cart. I literally did this in 4 seconds. Okay, target's up. Boom. Click immediately. I'm the first in line. Click. Error. This is.
Yeah.
Error this out. I'm at this point getting like visually agitated. I am so angry that this is happening at Nintendo because I know that's like, okay, Target gets 15 total in the world. And then I see online GameStop says I can't even get on GameStop's site. Like they're refreshing. They're crashed. But on Twitter they posted, "Hey, they're in store." I call up GameStop. "Hey, let me put you on hold for 1 second." "Okay." "Hey, yeah, how can I help you?" And I got it down to the smallest amount of information I can get. Super Nintendo Classic, you got one? "Yep. I'll be there." Click. And that I get in the car and I am breaking every law I possibly can. I am rushing to this place. I jump out, run in there. There's one guy in front of me pre-ordering. I get up to the thing. I get my pre-order in. And the guy says, I'm telling him, like, I had a big ordeal getting this online. Yeah, we didn't get much. We got 10. And then I'm looking on Twitter. 10 per GameStop. That's all that these stores got. We're 10 total.
God.
That is... You know what? We should have freaking mentioned... I'm going to retroactively put it in. No, just do it now. This was Iwata's Final Troll.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
All right, we're back. That sucks. And I got really agitated. I'm still angry. Like, I think that was terrible. Like, and I keep seeing, like, people talk online. How can we fix this? And the first post on the NeoGAF thing about this was, make more. That's all there is to it.
That's all that needs
Make
to happen.
More. Like, that this is such an ordeal. People want this thing. Like, this was special to me in my childhood was Super Nintendo. People want this stuff. Figure it out. Like, all these excuses and, it was an experience. We weren't wanting to make a lot and stuff.
Yeah.
This is so... You are making less to feed this demand, and people go in this frenzy.
The demand is already high.
Yeah, it's already through the roof. You're just causing scalpers to get they're going to
get a payday.
They're going to payday. So, enough of that. Buzz off with that.
I think it was... I just think Nintendo is constant about this because they think we're going to create such a good collector's item, and it just ends up screwing everybody out because they want it so badly.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, with the NES Classic, when you had that, I was like, that's so neat. Yeah. And I was like, man, I wish I could get one. Man, I don't have $450 to spare.
Yeah.
So it incentivizes emulating.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about Nintendo right now. They don't want people to emulate their games. I own a Switch. I've got money to buy an SNES Classic. I'm giving them every opportunity to give me an opportunity. I'm giving them the opportunity to give me an opportunity to buy their games legally. They are not giving me a way to buy their NES or SNES games.
Emulate.
I am gonna just emulate.
Someone's gonna rip Star Fox 2.
I do not have another option.
Someone to figure that out.
It's the dumbest thing.
So I'll emulate Star Fox 2 now, jerks.
I ended up getting one. So I will be very happy.
You'll play it legally. I'll play it legally.
Okay.
I'll go to jail and you'll be happy.
Iwata, get him, not me.
Yeah, thanks, Iwata.
Next thing, very surreal news to see. I woke up to this news, actually. Half-Life 2 Episode 3 plot got leaked from one of the original people. Like, basically everybody that worked on those original games has left Valve.
Yeah.
So what this guy did is he wrote on his blog and just changed the names. So instead of Gordon Freeman, it was George Friedman.
And he
or
flipped
something.
all the genders, right?
Yeah, he flipped the genders too. But you know what? It was a wink and nod. This was the plot to that.
Yeah.
And so I read through this. I saw somebody did a translation. They changed it to the actual Gordon Freeman or whatever. They just changed it or whatever. And this, spoiler alert. If you haven't played those games, well, I'm not even still I won't spoil whatever. But this was going to take place in Antarctica. This was going to be an Antarctica themed thing, and you actually fought some of the alien. I forgot what the aliens were called in that now, but in Antarctica, and I skimmed through it, and it was all kind of because I don't know, it was it was weird. It didn't really. I think they still had some work to do. I think this is as far as they got.
This is a first draft.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff is I have to see this to kind of see what they were going for with some of this stuff. But
isn't it weird that Half-Life Episode 3 was supposed to come out not that long after Episode 2?
Yeah.
So
they were really kind of talking about. I was hey, this is upcoming. There was interviews you can watch online of someone put a compilation of what happened with Half-Life, and you can kind of see Gabe Newell, whatever's we have Episode 3.
I have to imagine whatever we just got is as close to the final version as what exists, because this guy went out of his way to post it. And given how close they were to making it, this had to be pretty close to what they were going to do.
And I don't think I saw somebody talking about the other day is what's it going to take for them to make Half-Life 3?
They never.
And with somebody people was mentioning, I was with their current management structure, which is this hippie freaking sunflower, my freaking hair structure of no one's in charge and you can choose whatever project you want.
But we're all about the money.
But it's they have such a cash cow in the Steam fees and all this stuff. It's to get on the store. That structure sucks. No one is ever going to make Half-Life 3 with the current structure. There's no real big incentive to
work on Dota, work on CS:GO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was weird and surreal. Last big kind of news thing was Secret of Mana 3D Remake got announced, and this is on my list of games to play.
The original PS1 game.
See, it's a Super Nintendo game, and it's heralded as this really. I've seen it split both ways of it's a classic Super Nintendo RPG. It's an action RPG. But then when I was reading about it recently, people were there's some bugs in it. There's there's some issues with the combat. And some people were just I just don't like this game. This isn't really a good game. Going back on it. But other people hold to this game as a major classic. So I think I'm gonna still play the original. Maybe play this, new one. It looked kind of. We didn't get to see much of it, but we'll see. But we're coming to the close of the podcast. This is our last part where we kind of talk about, what we played this month. And I do, I'm reporting back in. Breaking news. Last episode, I said I would be back with Splatoon 2 and Final Fantasy 12. So
oh yeah.
I did beat Final Fantasy 12, and that is now my third favorite Final Fantasy game. Very fun. I will say specifically the Zodiac Age version, this remastered version, because the last version, I don't think I had the patience for freaking hit X. Here's my button, and then just stand in front of a guy, and then slowly hit, and then everybody's slowly hitting.
Is the main character in that game not good? Because everyone says he's not a good character.
Van is his name. He's
literally
literally named after a vehicle.
Is he forgettable?
Yeah. That's one thing I'll say is story wise, I'm more connected to 10 and 7.
Okay.
Even though how bad looking back certain aspects of 10 are, I'm even more connected to that than I was.
No, 10 was perfect.
This one, 12 is. I never really felt majorly connected to any character at all, but the gameplay. Yeah. And the environments and when you were we gotta go to the west, you're covering a lot of ground to get there.
Yeah.
Even with my fast forwarding thing and I'm running at the speed of light, it takes a while or whatever.
and you really feel like you're on a journey in that way.
Wow.
Which was really cool. Even though I said like the stories, whatever, or the characters I didn't really connect to, there's some interesting character. There's a guy that's just like this. He's your Han Solo.
Yeah,
character.
people always talk about him.
Bashir or whatever. But I liked the character designs. I liked especially Fran. Wink, wink. But yeah, having that fast forward option and stuff. Yeah, third favorite Final Fantasy. I just had a blast playing it.
Good.
I really freaking loved it. Next on the list, Splatoon 2. Played more of that. I'll get to online in a second. Oh my gosh. Single player, fun. I hit a point the other night where I went, maybe I shouldn't have bought this game.
Oh, wow.
I hit a point where I went, I've already played this game. But now I hit a point in the single player thing where they're adding like these cool bouncy things or whatever. I'm doing new stuff that's interesting, and I'm having fun again. But then I did hit a point. I hit a point where I was just like, oh man, I shouldn't have bought this. Like, why did I do that? Or actually, I got this.
Is this Splatoon 1.5?
In some ways, yes.
In some ways,
in other ways, I'm having a blast, like in other levels and stuff. So I'll check even more back in next when I beat the game, hopefully by then. But online, I'm like, I played single player. I hit that little stretch of like I'm kind of playing the same stuff I did last game. I'll check out online. And then I remember, I can't connect to Wi-Fi from my room. And I look and I go, error connecting, and I go, oh yeah, they didn't make a freaking connector strong enough in the Switch to connect from here to one room over. My family my parents are in there, they're busy, like watching TV or something. I'm not going to go in like, hey, I'm just going to sit in the corner and play my video game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess I don't play online for right now. That really sucks. And last I played was Sonic Uncharted. I talked about earlier, but that really sucks with Splatoon.
Man, well,
and it's not Splatoon's fault. It's actually Switch's fault.
Yeah, it's the Switch's fault. That's the crazy part.
Maybe you shouldn't have bought that game.
Yeah, gosh.
I'll check in next time if I'm still upset.
I mean, I think the online is what made it feel so fresh, but I don't know. You can't play it, so
yeah.
In terms of what I've been playing, I've been playing Madden, obviously. For me, whenever Madden comes out, that is a 100-hour game for me. You
put in the time, yeah.
I do a lot of franchises. I love football, so I'll be very busy with that just because I love it so much. Civ 5 is the game, and if you haven't nuked other countries yet, you need to get the nuking.
Yeah.
We're not far off. But
yeah, we might have a real Civ 5.
I gave that a very decent recommendation after 5 hours last time.
He walked in my room.
He has played that probably
for a while.
5 times as much as I even played it.
It was a good recommendation. I would like to check it out.
I just got in there and I love Age of Empires. I love that kind of games.
Maybe I'll take Splatoon back and buy Civ with the
money. Travis is like telling me, okay, I struggle to keep my civilization happy. I'm like, yeah, my civilization loves me. Yeah. They're like 182 happiness. Yeah. I'm the king. I just nuke everybody that don't like me. Dude, at the end,
I had an experience because I listened to this 6-hour podcast, Hardcore History. Check it out. This 6-hour podcast on nuclear weapons and how dangerous they are. And awesome. I just got done listening to this, and all the North Korea stuff's going on. And then I stop in Jake's room, and he's playing Civ, and he's like,
click.
I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, just design some nukes. I'm figuring out what to use them on. And I'm just like, I'm nuclear missile overload.
I got to the point where I took over. I did the realistic world. Had all of North America. I ventured into South America, and I was looking to expand westward. So I wanted to go towards Japan and Australia.
And just shoot a nuke over him.
Well, realistically,
just tossing.
All I did,
in the middle type deal.
All I did, I got super tight with Germany, and I let Germany duke it out with another country. And while Germany started losing, I just swooped in and took them. So I took Germany over, and then I completely just started expanding over China.
Who'd you use the nuke on?
Oh, so after it was all said and done, came down to me and one other civilization. London. England.
Well, they just have Big Ben.
Elizabeth. I built Big Ben before they did.
Oh,
I
wow.
I took it from them.
Bigger Ben.
It was funny because they were the second most advanced civilization, and the best they had to throw at me was cannons. So
They had cannons.
I had tanks. I brought tanks into their country. I had like stealth bombers, and they have cannons. I just came in. I mean, I just wiped them out, and then it got to the point where they had like three countries left, and they're like, "Hey, look, we'll trade you the other 2 countries. Just let us live." And they gave me everything. They gave me gold.
Wow.
They gave me everything, and then finally,
honor.
I signed a peace treaty, and then 11 turns later, I declared war on them again. She's like, and this is my favorite line in the end. She's like, "You're such a bloodthirsty Mongol," and I'm like, you know what? Screw you, Elizabeth. I sent the nuke on her. The big atomic bomb. The biggest one you can build. Alright? The first time I used the nuke, I had 8 of them built up. I hit it, and it brought her down to where you could cap it. Because in order to cap it, you have to send someone in. And then I was like, nah, I'll send a second nuke on her just to show her who's the boss. I didn't know. So after you beat someone,
don't tweet at Jacob.
Hey, after you beat somebody in a war, it shows them like at the end, like, oh, you bested me. It didn't even give me an ending cutscene. It just erased that land.
Yep.
Like it was gone. I couldn't move people onto it.
Yeah.
But
I stopped it. I
Jacob,
stopped by and I saw an area of the map that looked like Mordor, and I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "That's where I dropped my nukes."
It's like a nuclear war.
Well, you showed her. She'll never back on you again.
Here's why I like Civ. Civ's all about expansion, and it's all about either working together or conquering. And I conquered. I don't know. I want to play with a group of friends. We haven't got to the point in our lives where we can do that.
Yeah, we're planning on it.
But we will, and so I'll give you an update. Hey, when Travis got the recommendation, I literally walked in there and bought the game and played it that night. I'm not kidding. It was good.
Our plan is to do a Civ game with our friends and have a Discord chat that'll be the UN.
Yeah.
And if you do something wrong, you get kicked out of the UN.
I'm a great person. I'm a great person to work with. I am. I promise. I promise great things.
Huge things. Huge
things.
Huge.
The best things you'll ever see.
Oh god.
But on top of that,
what else you been playing?
Players Unknown has still stayed relatively up there. I mean, that game has absolutely just taken off.
That game,
gotten really big.
It's
ungodly.
unbelievably big.
I think it's the second most played game on Steam right now.
It's the most played crappy game, and I don't say that as an insult. I just say that as it's just like janky.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun. Like it's very fun.
Janky games could be fun.
Very good idea. But very janky. It'd be like if Deadly Premonition shipped 10 million copies. It'd be like, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's fun.
What is happening here?
Yeah.
800,000 concurrent players.
Yeah.
That's second only. What's that second place to?
Man, and what happened? Was
GTA,
the word of mouth that really built this?
It got past GTA.
Was the word of mouth?
I
what
think
happened?
it's just because I was reading up on this.
Because
there have been other battle royale games.
Yeah.
This game is just it had the right combination of things that all clicked at the right time for it.
YouTube helped it a lot. A lot of major personalities got on there, and they played multiple series of it, and they never talked it up. They just played it, and people got curious.
Yeah.
So while it happened all the way,
I wonder if they reached out to these YouTubers.
Some people do.
I mean, they definitely probably did.
But I just think
I finally figured out what the name of it was. Why it's called what it's called. Player Unknown is a dude.
Yeah.
Did you know this? Player Unknown is a dude, and he was a modder for Arma. So he made Arma mods. Well, he made a mod on Arma called Player Unknown's Battleground. And it was a Battle Royale mod in Arma. Yeah. Well, then he decided he wanted to make his own game and call it Player Unknown's Battlegrounds. There's still only one battleground because they don't have more than one map.
This is why we need modders.
But that is it. Literally, is the game is called? It's like the name of a mod.
Wow, yeah.
It's a huge freaking game.
So guys, again, I'm not gonna stress it. It may be janky, but
it's very
just
fun.
Jump on the train, enjoy it for a couple hours. I think you'll enjoy it a lot. In my
We should play
opinion.
it again soon.
I do. Life's been crazy.
Hey, they showed a new map. They showed a picture. It's like a big desert map.
I think they also added a zombie mode.
I'm still dreaming for like that game with Metal Gear Solid 5 gameplay.
Man,
but,
you were just...
You know, they probably release that and it would probably bomb.
Oh, and
Because it's just, you know.
Blast to the past. Screw Dark Souls. I'm on a better game called Skate 3. Thanks to EA Access, I have rekindled my
Skate
love.
Skate 3 is incredible.
Rekindled my love for Skate, and I mean,
Skate series is incredible.
It's amazing.
The opening cinematic for that game, I've never played any of them, was the funniest, weirdest.
Oh
most
yeah,
bizarre
it's the guy
thing.
going, got some good footy.
They were all
Some good
playing
footy
different
there.
characters. They were playing weird characters.
That game just is good. I want Skate 4.
Skate 3. Just play Skate 3.
All right, so for me, what do I got here? Okay, so Madden. I said Madden. I've downloaded some things on EA Access I haven't really played yet. Okay, so Final Fantasy VIII. I started this a month ago. For you guys know I played 4, 5, 6, and 7, and now I'm on 8. And I've enjoyed all the ones I've played. I started 8 and actually kind of liked the setting. I like that it's in a school and stuff. I have hit a complete wall where I haven't even touched it in 3+ weeks. Because there is, if you play this, you know what I'm talking about. There's this, like, it is a weird game. Like,
It's very weird.
Every other Final Fantasy, you fight, and then when you fight, you level up, or you get different types of experience so you can level yourself up, and that's the game. You level yourself. In Final Fantasy VIII, you don't level that way. You actually level these guardian forces. And then I'm reading online that you actually don't want to level your character, but then it makes you super like conscious of if you are leveling. So I just get anxious going into battle in that game
There's
because
no incentive to level up.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do and not do. And then wrapped up inside of that is there is this card game that is somehow connected to the battle and the leveling
Didn't
system.
they hear that we're done with card games?
But it's not directly related.
99.
So
I've seen them play more card games.
So there's this card game. And the card game itself is okay, but it's just really hard. And in the opening area, if you lose, they take your best card. So what I found myself doing for hours, like 2 hours, last 2 hours I played this game, I would turn it on and I would go and try and fight this card battle. And I would lose my best card. I have to turn it off, turn it back on. I'm on Steam. And because it's Final Fantasy VIII on Steam, you have to do a login. You have to log back into Square's server. It's all like this other layer of DRM. And then you get back in the game, and then you... So, I'm like in this place where like I want to play this, but between the combat and the card game, I don't really know. So
are you on the point where you might skip?
No, I'm not going to skip. I just haven't had the motivation to power through it.
I think you should skip.
So Final Fantasy
Play
VIII,
Splatoon 2.
I maybe put in the comments if you know what I should or shouldn't do with that card game and that leveling. Please direct me to some kind of a source because I've tried reading guides. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm a smart guy. I'm not stupid. I can pretty much work my way around RPG mechanics. I can pretty much. Yeah. I feel comfortable that I can pretty much pick up any game and figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
I don't understand what's going on in this game, and it's.
Hey, I beat the game. And I never understood what was going on.
Yeah, normally if I'm playing something and I don't understand it, you would just offer feedback. But you're like, you don't know.
No, I beat the game and didn't know what was going on.
So that's that.
I stayed not fighting any enemies until the very end when the boss at the very end killed me in one hit because my HP was so low because I never leveled up. That was the one time when you got fricked up.
Yeah.
But I got through all the game not fighting any monsters.
So we'll see what happens with
game.
that. Second game I started playing this month that I didn't really pick back up, but I have slightly better feelings towards it is Batman Arkham City. I was watching the Batman animated series, and we watched some Dark Knight Returns, the cartoon. So I started getting in the mood. I was like, I'm going to play a Batman game. That sounds like fun. Installed Batman Arkham City, threw it on. It's cool. It's like Arkham Asylum, but
in the city.
In the city, it's pseudo open world. I don't really feel like it's open world, but it's open area and you can run around. I like it, but I didn't love Asylum. I just kind of liked it, and that's how I feel about this so far. I played it in 3 20-minute bursts. Like, I'll turn it on, I'll go into a scenario, talk to the bad guy, do some detective stuff, beat up a few guys, and then I turn it off. It is not holding my attention for long periods of time, and I probably will get on and do like a big long play session of a few hours or something, but it's one of those games in the Batman universe as far as those games goes to where it's not something I want to spend hours doing. Like,
Yeah.
I'll throw it on and do it for a little bit, and then I'm kind of like, okay, I'm ready to move on. So I'll let you know. I like it so far. It's cool. Last thing that I played this month, obviously I love video games this month because I have such great things to say about everything I've played. No Man's Sky. So this is a whole thing.
You had some weird games.
Yeah, this is a whole thing.
I'm
on
just
its
gonna
itself.
put my ears up and just ignore this part.
No Man's Sky. There's this thing going on online right now where I'm seeing these articles. It's like No Man's Sky is good now, and I'm seeing like on Kotaku like No Man's Sky is a great game. And I'm seeing all these things. Okay, look, No Man's Sky is all right, but it is still the same exact game it always was. I do not know what has changed for other people other than the media.
And you should say the developers got really quiet for a while, thinking that like there was going to be a big patch, like a huge thing, and this seemed like
everyone they keep announcing things, and everyone's like, "This is a game changer," and I'm like, "How?"
Yeah.
Like I reinstalled the game, I got on, I started a new story account mode. I jumped in. Now you have like a better menu as far as what your goals are, but your goals are the same as they were before.
Game's better.
Build a warp drive. Go to a new place. Blah, blah, blah. I haven't done all the story yet, so I'm only about 8 hours in, but I'm 8 hours in, and I've just farmed things and sold them and built up money. That's all I did in the first time I played it for 20 hours, and that's all I've done now through 8 hours. And to me, I got it as a birthday present. That's fine. Like, it's a game. I'll go, I'll listen to some podcasts, and I'll fly around space, and it's cool. It's like a fun, kind of like not super hard to engage with game. So, I'm not a hater on No Man's Sky. I take cool screenshots. I send them to these guys, like, man, this game looks really good. But I don't know what it is in the media that I've been seeing where the narrative has shifted. And I'm not against it because the narrative was so angry at those guys that I kind of felt almost bad for them.
I think the pendulum
so now it's just swung back to where like now it's like this is some like really improved game. And I'm like, no, it's still just kind of like a 6 to 7 out of 10 that has really cool things in it. Yeah. To me, it's the same game. So I don't know if you play No Man's Sky. Maybe it gets better as you get further into the story.
Don't buy into the lie.
So I've had some fun playing it. Like I enjoy No Man's Sky for sure in certain ways, but I don't see where it's this completely different game. What I need No Man's Sky with Destiny combat and randomly generated quests. If you give me that, then we'll be.
I have never felt more scammed in my life than No Man's Sky.
But the graphics are better now. And the menu.
I don't care.
For me, it was a weird game, or a weird month in gaming.
You promised so much
that we will forever dub this. The weird
it's month. Weird when the thing that left the biggest impact on me was the Destiny beta. That's weird.
That is I would say this month was so crazy. Like I played so much: Final Fantasy 12, Splatoon, like Uncharted, Sonic Mania. Oh, I got the new Yakuza. It wasn't even on the freaking agenda, but I got that. I haven't played it yet, but.
Another thing that wasn't on the agenda was that Hellblade.
Oh, that came out, yeah.
I haven't played this.
That came out.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It's like people say it's like an experience, like almost like an Ico level like experience kind of a game.
Yeah. I've been hearing good stuff about that too. New Life is Strange game is out in a couple days. Ungodly amount of games. Yeah, that comes out in a couple of days. The Before the Storm.
There's just been
my gosh!
Like there's too much stuff.
There's
so
just been a waterfall.
We have to cut it off now because
not another Life is Strange.
Cut it.
I can't handle it.
I can't. There's too many games. This might be the final podcast.
August is in the wraps. Rip the sheet.
I just got Madden. Like, why would they do this to me?
August is over.
Gosh, thank God.
Xbox chose to die.
This is Major Nelson's contract.
Valve. That's what Valve just did to the Half-Life 3 script.
This is Pop-Tart's contract when Destiny 2 comes out.
Don't worry, they'll sign the Doritos contract soon.
This is Monster's contract when Destiny 2 comes out and the Grimoire cards don't explain the story well.
You know what? I think next month's podcast, in honor of Destiny 2 launching, we should take the podcast and write it in text form into comments.
Wow.
DweeBros cards.
DweeBros cards.
Look for DweeBros
Coming
cards.
soon to you.
Thanks.
Limited quality.
See you
limited
later.
yard. Oh, crap. We're doing this?
Hey, I forgot.
It's behind the scenes.
It's been a while. I'll be streaming this Sunday, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. One of the best
Still
games
doing
ever.
it?
Yep.
This
I
channel
played
sells
Tony Hawk's Pro
consoles?
Skater 1 and said I'll be here every Sunday. And I haven't been here in like 16 Sundays. But you know what? You know that band Taking Back Sunday?
You're worse than
Oh,
Destiny.
gosh.
So if this podcast wasn't long enough, tune in this Sunday for
Tony
the
Hawk.
big Tony Hawk's Pro
Tony
Skater 2.
Hawk.
Or I'll just lie to you again and I won't be here this Sunday. We'll see. But it'll be, I don't know when it'll be, 2 o'clock probably, 2:30?
I don't know.
I don't know. Ask him. Good night.